2 light weights to get ourselves warmed up. Only got half an hour, so I want to try and fit as much as we can into that and work the whole body. So 2 light weights, strong set position, and that strong set position, your heels are under your hips, your toes are slightly turned out. We roll our shoulders up, back and down, and the arms are hanging. And we send our hips back and down into a deadlift. And we bring them back up against the tops of our thighs and do the same. And you should be feeling it in your glutes here. Coming down to the knees and back up again. So I've got my mat slightly at an angle here, so hopefully that'll help with you being able to see what I'm doing. Good. Keep your chest high. Bring the weights down to the knees and come back up again. We're going to do that one more time. And now we're going to do a dead row. So coming down to the knees and pulling those elbows out. So a wide dead row, and then down and stand up. So it's 4 moves. So hinge, pull those weights out, hands down, and come back up again. And throughout this whole move, the arms are hanging. Just here, it's like we've got ropes around our elbows, like we're a puppet, and those ropes are pulling the elbows up. Good. So hinging, pulling, and squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top and stand back up again. And you're in control of those weights all the way. So lift with control, lower with control. Don't just let them hang, and come back up again. Good. 2 more like that. Lift and pull using our pulling muscles here, and standing, and 1 more. Hinging, pulling, lowering, and standing. So come back to that strong set position, really roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're going to do some deadlifts again, but changing the tempo. Come down to the knees for 1, and then lift slowly. And again, down to the knees and stop, and lift slowly. Good. It's working, Tash, if you're warm. Down to the knees and coming back up again. Good. So down and stop, and up we go. Using that muscle memory so we know what it feels like at the bottom, and just going there and stopping. Good. 2 more like that. Down and slowly up, and then down and slowly up. So we're going to move on to our upright row now. Push those weights together. Again, ropes around those elbows. Elbows lift. Weights are close to the body. That's it, Tash. With this one, you really want to go high and wide with the elbows. That's it. Lifting and lowering. And the target area for where those weights are going is under the boobs. We don't have to go super high. The bit that's high is the elbows, and the weights come just to under the boobs. Good. That's it. I know. The problem is, it's muscle memory. Weights up. That's exactly what you need to do, Tash. Weights. Keep those elbows positive. Good. 2 more. Lift and lower. Lovely. Okay, we're going to do a combination move. So we're going to do the dead lift. So hinging, and then an upright row. Good. So hinge, stand, and lift and lower. Now the core gets an opportunity to work. Good. And lift and lower. Good. Hinging, pulling, lifting, and lowering. 2 more. And then I will deem us warmed up. Last one. Hinging, pulling, and lifting and lowering. Lovely. Well done. We're going to come down to the floor and do some glute bridges now. So bring a heavy weight with you. You could either use 2 light weights or just 1 heavy one. Anything that you can control. I'm going to go with a 4 today. And you want to be able to control it because you don't want it to cut loose and hit your face. So the weight is between your hips. Heels as close to your hips as you can get them. Now, if your feet are really far away, you're going to use your hamstrings more, and we want to target the glutes. So bring those feet close, hold on to your weight, tuck the chin, shoulders are grounded, and the hips come up. So the hips come up slowly to start off with, and then they come back down again. And again. So we're just going to start slow with this. These are some of the biggest muscles in the body that we're working, which is why we go for the heavier weights. Good. Lifting and lowering. Keep looking up at the ceiling. Much better for the neck if you do that. Nice and slow up and nice and slow down. I'm going to count you now. So up for 4, 3, 2 and 1, and then down. 3, 2 and 1. Good. And again, up for 4, 3, 2 and 1, and down. And that increases the time under tension. One more like that, and we're going to change the tempo. 2 and 1, and down slowly. Right, we're going to go up for 3. So go up for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come down for 1. And again, up for 3, 2, 1, and then bring the weight down. Good. Again, increasing time under tension, which means those muscle fibers have to work. The slower you do things, the harder it is, because you've got to control it. Good. Squeezing up, 3, 2, 1, and down. One more like that, and then we're going to swap it on its head. 3, 2, 1. Right, this time we're going up for 1. So up for 1. And then slowly controlling it all the way down. And again, up for 1 and all the way down. 2 more like that. Lift and down. Good. And lift and down. Now we're going to go up to the top again. So lift up for 1. Come halfway down and go all the way up. Halfway down and all the way up. And this is where you're going to start to feel it. This is where the burning will come in, those muscles being starved of oxygen and getting stronger. Good. Halfway down, all the way up. Halfway down, all the way up. 2 more. Halfway down, all the way up. Last one. Lovely. Bring those weights down. We're going to go back to that 1 and 3. So up for 1 and down for 3. No, we were not done yet, Pat. And remember, Pat, if you want to remove the weights, roll up first. So up for 1 and down for 3, 2 and 1. Up for 1 and down, 3, 2, 1, and again up for 1 and down, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that up at the top again. So come up for 1. Come halfway down. Nice. That's 2. We're doing 8 of these. All the way up to the top, halfway down, all the way up and halfway down. Now I'm doing all of these with you. I'm not just watching you, so I know how hard it is. Keep pushing. Good. 4 more. All the way to the top, halfway down. All the way, halfway. 2 more. Last one. Well done. Bring those hips down. Going to get you to roll up. Oof. And we're going to go straight back down again with 2 weights. So 2 medium weights this time for chest. We're going to work the chest. So safely bringing yourself back down onto the floor, we're going to do some chest flies. So starting with your arms up above your head, or rather up above the shoulders. Pull your core down towards the floor and slowly open those arms out. Got a space issue here. Good. Opening out and coming up. So we're just starting slowly here. Slow repetitions, getting a sense of what those weights feel like and what those muscles are doing. And we're working the chest and the fronts of the shoulders here. There's a gentle bend in the elbows. The weights stop right above the floor, and then we squeeze them back up again with control. Let's speed that up 2 and 2, so a little bit faster, but still moving smoothly. Open for 2 and close for 2. And the joy of this one is you've got this instant visual feedback. You can see what your hands are doing. You're trying to get those weights to join each other again. They're like kissing each other right at the top. You might find one arm is doing a little bit of a zigzag journey on the way up and the other one's getting there quicker. This is visual feedback that you can use to try and get yourself stronger on that slightly weaker side. Good. 2 more like that. Now make sure your core is switched on. Make sure you're pulling that lower back down towards the floor. Nice. And now stop with your arms above your head. You're going to lift your feet up off the floor. So we're now at a 90-degree angle with our knees, and pull that core up so it's switched on. We're going to go 2 and 2. So just what we were doing before, opening for 2 and closing for 2. But suddenly it's a bit harder because now you've got to stabilize that lower part of the body with the core. Good. Watch out, make sure those arms are behaving. My left arm's definitely on a zigzag course today. Open for 2, close for 2. We're going to do 3 more of those. Good. Keep your knees at 90 degrees, your shins parallel to the ground. Lovely. 1 more. Oof. Well done. Okay, stop here. Bring your feet down to the floor. Triceps. We will go back to the chest for 1 more set, but let's do the triceps while the chest has a little rest. So feet flat on the floor, core is on. You're going to do the skull crusher. So bringing those weights down to the forehead and then bringing them back up again. Now here we squeeze the elbows together. Those elbows are high, they're pointing towards the sky, excuse me, and then nice and tight. Good, and you will feel the backs of the arms working here. So just slowly down to the forehead, slowly up with control. And if your dumbbells are sort of hexagonal, you can push them together here as well. If they're not, then that's fine as well. And coming up, let's change the tempo. Let's go down for 1. And then drag it up slowly. Yes. Down for 1 and stop and drag it up. Good. 2 more like that. Down for 1. Squeeze up. And last one. Down for 1 and squeeze up. Well done. Bring those weights down to your bellies. I want you to roll up now. And I want you to get your heaviest weight. So we're going to do some chest presses. Slightly different to the chest fly, and you can go heavier because it's easier. So 2 heavy weights, coming back down again. And now we're going to bend our elbows and they come out to the side. We push those weights back up again. Bend the elbows, bring them down to just above the floor, and then push the weights up. Good. Chest presses, we're pressing as opposed to going wide with the arms. So gradually increasing the angle of the elbows. Good. 2 more like that. Keep the weights above the wrists and the elbows right underneath them. Good. Okay, stop at the top. Bring your feet up. The knees up again at 90 degrees and back to that chest press. So coming out and up, all of a sudden infinitely harder. Good. Many ways to make things harder. And push those weights up. Good. 2 more. Down and up. Last one. Down and up. Lovely. Stop here. We're going to do 1 more set of triceps. So bring your heels as close to your hips as you can, but this time we're going to add the glutes. So bring your hips up and keep them there. Hips are now stabilizing. Then we're going to go down for 2 and up for 2 with the weights. Elbows tight. Good. So tricep extension here. Squeezing those elbows and the hips are up. Good. Keep those wrists neutral. The movement comes from the elbow and the elbows are nice and tight. Good. 2 more. Down. And last one. Down and up. Lovely. Bring those weights down to your belly, bring your hips down, and roll yourselves up with control. We're halfway there. Let's come on up to standing. Bring yourself either to medium or to heavy weights, depending on how strong you're feeling today. We're going to work that upper back. Now, you might find, Tash, with the upright rows that it's easier with the heavier weight. Sometimes that happens with weightlifting because your arms, those wrists will be getting dragged down. So roll your shoulders up, back and down in your strong set position. Bring those weights in front of you. I'm just going to show you this, Tash, and see how that brings the shoulders slightly forwards. That makes it easier to bring those weights up. The elbows up. Good. Okay. So lift those weights up and bring them back down again. Nice. And at the same time, you've got a gentle bend in those knees. The core is supporting you. Good. Lifting and lowering. So going slightly on the heavier side here. Good. Because I know you all, and you've been doing this for a while. I mean, six months I've been doing these classes. So we can go a little heavier and a little slower. Good. Right, we're going to change the tempo. Same as what we did before, up for one. And then down slowly. And you'll feel it when you're going down slowly. Good. Up for one and stop. And down slowly. Much better, Tash. Good. And down slowly. Nice. Now your core is what stops the weights. Your core is your brakes here. Oof. Down slowly. Two more like that. Lift. Down slowly. One more. Lift and down slowly. Good. Stop there. Shake everything out. So we're going to do a set of dead rows. We're going to go narrow this time. So have the weights by your side, facing you. Come into that deadlift position and then row the elbows back. Bring them back down and stand. So there are four moves again. Nice and slow here because we're going on the heavier side. And you'll find the triceps are helping. Those triceps that we worked before will be going, what's going on? You're working me here again. And that's okay. That's the whole idea. Squeeze the shoulder blades together at the top, lower and stand. Good. And you'll find when you come into that hinge and stop, the core is locked in to stabilize the body. Good. And lower and stand. Lovely. You're doing great. Two more like that. So just at that tempo, hinging, pulling, lowering and standing. One more. Hinging, pulling, lowering and standing. Good. We're going to do a triple now. So come down and pull 3 times. So pull, that's 1. Pull, that's 2. And pull, that's 3. And stand up. Good. Let's do a triple again. Hinge, pull, slowly. Good. Try not to hunch, Pat. That's it. You're looking out in front of you. One more time. And stand up. Oof. Well done. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. One more set of upright rows. We're going to go up for 1 and down for 3. Good. So 7 more like that. Lift and stop and lower. And these are our pulling muscles. So imagine you're pulling something up and then resisting it as it comes down. Good. So pull it and lower. And your challenge here is to keep that body still as you're pulling. Good. Again, core stabilizing. Lifting and lowering. Now I've lost count, so just 3 more. I always estimate. And down. Oof. Really resist it down. Good. 1 more. Well done. Stop here. Lovely. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. We can stay with the heavy weights here. We're going to work the biceps. We're just going to do single curls and just a hammer curl. which means that the weight doesn't move in the wrist. Single curl, coming up and down. So heavy weights, good. Now keep that wrist neutral, pat. Class doesn't go by where I don't say that. So hammer curl, which means we don't rotate it. Good. You're just isolating that bicep, nothing else. That's it, much better, good. And keep the elbow glued to the side of the body and it stays under the shoulder, good. Nice and slow, lovely. The heavier weight, we've taken the tempo down so that we can work those muscles. So for the last set of these, I want you to go up for 1 and then resist the weight down. And again, up for 1 and resist it down. You probably feel your triceps here. That's the backs of the arms because they do help by stretching. And they're a little bit unhappy at the moment because they've done a lot of work today. So lift and lower, good. Nice and slowly down. Lift and lower, and one more time. Lift and lower. Really well done. We're going to go to the light weights now just to do some shoulders. Let's get rid of those heavy weights. I know I've pushed you all really hard today, but you've all responded really well, so very, very pleased with that. Okay, strong set position. Lots of overhead stuff here. We're going to start off in that 90-90, the 2 90-degree angles. And I'm going to come down to my knees. You don't have to. This is just so you can see what I'm doing with my arms. And just lift those weights overhead. And then bring them back down again. Again, resisting that weight as it comes down. Elbows stop at shoulder height. And your shoulders want to be relaxed. You don't want them up around your ears. You're pulling those shoulder blades down as you pull those weights down. So really pull those shoulder blades down. Good. Lifting and down. Good. Lifting and down. 2 more like that. Overhead work, so important for shoulder mobility, but also really good for core strength. Stop here. We're going to do a rotator raise. So keeping those wrists neutral, the weights come down to elbow height and then they go back up again. Rotator raise using those rotator cuff muscles. Good. Complex joint, those shoulders. Lots of little muscles. They do lots of different things. There's so many different things you can do to work your shoulders, and it all works on different parts of the shoulders. Good. Keep those elbows up. You're doing great. Choosing the right weights for this is important as well. 2 more. Down and up. Last one. Good. And then we're going to come down. We're just going to finish off the shoulders with some shoulder flies. So we're going to use that hip hinge again. Remember, with flies, the arms go out straight. So hinge, and at the same time, bring those arms out. Now, they're not going behind you. They're going straight out to the side and come back up again. So hinge, arms up, and stand up. I'll show you from the side. Hinge and stand. You got it. Backs of those shoulders. And again, you will be feeling this because that upper back's been working hard today. Good. And coming up. Nice. So you use the core to lift yourself up. Good. Hinging. Let's change the tempo for 4 more. So open and stop. And then slowly stand up. And again. Open and stop. And stand up. 2 more like that. Good. Well done. Squeeze those glutes and the core. Last one. And up we go. Well done. Now I want you to come down onto your knees, everybody. I'm just going to show you something new that we are going to build on for the shoulders. It's called a halo. So have one of those light weights And bring those weights up as if we were doing tricep extensions. So you start with the weight behind you. And it's a halo. So we're going to draw a circle around our head with that weight. This is one you can practice. Giving you a bit of homework here. Careful not to hit yourself in the face. Keep the body still. The body is completely still. Shoulders are doing the work here. That's it. So Penny, bring the weights behind you as if you're trying to tickle the back of your neck. We can swap direction. Good. The same with you, Pat. Start with that weight behind you. This also really helps with shoulder mobility. Good. It's like drawing a line or a circle around your head. Good. 2 more. Last one. Nice way to stretch the shoulders out, actually, with that lightweight. Really well done. We'll work on that as well. Come back, pop the weight down. And I'm going to get you to reach your hands towards me with your palms facing you to stretch that upper back and those shoulders out. Clasp those hands. We're in cool down mode. Round through your back. Dive your head down between your elbows. Nice. And then come down onto all fours on your mat. And again, to stretch that upper back, sink down into child's pose. So hips come down towards your heels. Forehead comes down to the mat if it reaches. Feel that stretch in your upper back. Then inhale and come up to all fours. Do a cat stretch. Exhale. Round through your back. Cow stretch. Lift your head and lower your belly. And then walk your hands back towards your knees and bring one foot forward. So we're in a lunge to stretch those quads and the hamstrings. So hands on hips. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale. Come forwards to stretch the hip flexors, the fronts of the legs. The leg that's at the front now is going to get a stretch on the hamstring. So inhale, and as you exhale, push into that leg, straighten it, and send your hips back. You can also take a hold of the floor and get a stretch in that lower back. Swap over to the other side. Try not to fall over. So starting in that 90-90 lunge, inhaling, and as you exhale, come forwards. Feel that stretch in that left hip flexor. Oh, feels nice. Inhale, and as you exhale, come into that hamstring stretch. So folding forwards here as well if that feels good. Making sure you've got your balance. If you need to use a block, you can. Good. And then coming up to standing, facing me. Go wide with your legs. Open your arms out and stick your chest towards me. Stretching the chest muscles now. Those arms can come as far back as they will go. Really sticking your chest out. And then round through your back again to stretch the upper back. This time we can probably get the middle of the back and have a little wiggle here from side to side once you feel those muscles working. Open the arms wide. Stretch the shoulders. So bring the right arm across the body and bring the other arm just above the elbow. Just hold it there. Back of the shoulder getting a nice stretch here. It's only a small muscle, so it might not feel major, but it needs a stretch. Other side. Open wide. And cross over to the other side. Oh yeah, this one's stiff. That feels good. Nice. Tricep stretch quickly. Right hand comes up and over. Take a hold of the elbow with the left hand. You can go into a little side bend if you want to. and then open out. And that right hand takes hold of the left elbow. Good. Bring your arms down, roll your shoulders up, back and down. You can bring your feet together. Torso twist. Throw those arms around. And we're done. So well done, and thank you very much.